6 kilometers from Nuwara Eliya at 1,600 meters above sea level. There is a garden that has been growing for over 160 years. Are roses from around the world, orchids in a dedicated glass house, tree ferns that tower above your head, and a rock face rising behind it, all that the Ramayana connects to one of the most famous stories in Hindu mythology. This is Hakgala Botanical Gardens, one of the most underrated places in all of Sri Lanka. I am Santhosh Rupert, and today I'm taking you through every corner of it. Hakgala has two stories, and both of them are extraordinary. The first is mythological. This place is believed to be the modern-day Ashoka Vatika, the pleasure garden that King Ravana gifted to Sita during her captivity, intended to lessen her sorrow amid the beauty of the Highland landscape. The surrounding area is still called Sita Eliya today, and the Sita Aman temple, where Sita is believed to have prayed for Rama to rescue her, sits just beside the garden entrance. Whether you follow this story as history or legend, standing here with that backdrop of ancient rock and mist makes it very easy to believe. The second story is Colonial. The garden was established in 1861 by Dr. George Henry Kendrick Thwaites, an English botanist who wanted to experiment with growing cinchona, the plant used to produce quinine for treating malaria. Later it became a tea plantation, and finally, in 1884, the British converted it into the botanical garden we know today. One garden, two completely different histories. Hakgala spreads across 28 hectares at the foot of the Hakgala Rock, with landscapes ranging from lush tropical forest to manicured lawns. It is the second largest botanical garden in Sri Lanka and one of the highest altitude botanical gardens in the world. The rose garden is the first thing that stops you. Dozens of varieties from countries across the world, all thriving in the cool Highland air. The best time to visit is in April, when the roses, colorful foliage, and temperate annual flowers are at peak bloom. But even outside peak season, the garden is beautiful. The ferns, the ancient trees, and the rock backdrop make it worth visiting any time of year. The Orchid House is the second highlight. A dedicated glass house with exotic orchid varieties that cannot survive in Sri Lanka's lowland heat, but flourish at this altitude. Take your time here. The variety and color are extraordinary. Beyond the rose garden and orchid house, the garden opens into an arboretum of giant trees, some of them over 100 years old, planted during the original British establishment of the garden. Walking beneath these trees with the Hakgala Rock rising behind them and mist moving through the canopy is one of those genuinely atmospheric moments that you cannot manufacture. The rock garden houses many herbaceous plants. There is also a bulb garden featuring plants like Watsonia and Amaryllis. And throughout the garden, particularly in the tree areas, you will very likely encounter purple-faced leaf monkeys, an endemic Sri Lankan species that is remarkably relaxed around visitors here. The garden opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 5:30 p.m. daily. Entry for foreign adults is 1,500 Sri Lankan rupees and for foreign children 750 Sri Lankan rupees. Locals pay 60 Sri Lankan rupees. If you want to cover the full 28 hectares without walking the entire thing, golf carts are available for hire inside the garden. The garden is 6 kilometers from Nuwara Eliya on the Nuwara Eliya to Badulla main road. A tuk-tuk from Nuwara Eliya town takes about 15 minutes and costs around 400 to 500 LKR. There is also a parking area if you are driving yourself. There is a cafeteria inside the garden where you can get food and drinks. Useful because the garden is large enough that you will want a break midway through. There are also small shops near the entrance selling flower plants and souvenirs. Plan for at least 3 hours inside. If you visit on a weekday morning, you will have most of the garden to yourself. 2 things worth mentioning. First, the Sita Aman temple is directly beside the garden entrance. The temple is small but beautifully maintained, and the story connecting it to the Ramayana is one of the most interesting pieces of living mythology in Sri Lanka. Spend 20 minutes there before or after the garden. Second, the garden looks completely different at different times of year. If you visited once and the rose garden was quiet, come back in April. November to March is the lowest bloom period. Time your visit for April to May or August to October for the best floral display. Hakgala is not on most tourist itineraries for Nuwara Eliya. This garden, its history, its mythology, its altitude, and its extraordinary plant collection is genuinely one of the finest natural attractions in Sri Lanka. I am Santhosh Rupert. Subscribe for more Sri Lanka travel guides every month. And tell me in the comments, have you visited Hakgala? Did you know about the Ramayana connection before you went?